Captain William Kidd, a comprehensive exploration of his life, treasure, and treasure searches. Captain William Kidd was born in 1645 in Dundee, Scotland, a port city that played a significant role in maritime commerce. His family was of modest means, and little is known about his early education or upbringing. However, it is widely believed that he began his seafaring career in his teenage years, engaging in various maritime trades that would eventually shape his future. Entry into the maritime world. As a young sailor, Kidd honed his skills aboard various merchant ships, where he developed a reputation for his seamanship and leadership. In the late 17th century, the ocean was a battleground for imperial powers and pirates alike, creating a complex environment for a captain aspiring to make his mark. Life in New York. By the late 1680s, Kidd had settled in New York, then a burgeoning colonial capital. He became involved in the transatlantic trade and gained a reputation as a successful shipbuilder. His connections with influential figures in the colonial government, such as Lord Bellamont and wealthy merchants, elevated his prospects. Kidd was seen as a man who could navigate the treacherous waters of both piracy and legitimate trade. Rise to notoriety. The Privateer Commission. Capitalizing on war. As rival nations vied for control of trade routes and colonial territories, Kidd entered the privateering business. Privateers operated under government licenses to attack enemy ships, and as tensions grew between England and France, many pursued this lucrative endeavor. Kidd viewed privateering as a means of wealth accumulation while serving his nation. Official commission. In 1695, Kidd received a royal commission as a privateer, authorized to hunt down pirates and protect British shipping interests. This commission came from the Governor of New York, Benjamin Fletcher, and was largely intended to bolster efforts against rampant piracy in the Caribbean and surrounding waters. However, the commission also placed Kidd in a precarious position. His authority was backed by a government that had little tolerance for misconduct. The Adventure. Kidd was appointed captain of a new ship called the Adventure. The vessel was well armed and ready for seafaring adventures. He set sail with a crew of approximately 30 men, comprised of seasoned sailors and newcomers lured by the promise of wealth. The turning point. Encounter with the Ganj Sawai. The attack. In July 1698, while sailing near Madagascar, Kidd made a fateful decision that would alter the course of his life. When Kidd currently attacked the Ganj Sawai, a Mughal ship returning from the East Indies laden with treasure, he was likely motivated by the allure of wealth and the belief that he could claim legitimate spoils of war, though this assumption proved misguided. The attack was brutal, leading to significant casualties on both sides, and Kidd successfully seized the ship. The looting. Reports indicate that the Ganj Sawai was carrying an immense cargo of gold and jewels. Kidd reportedly took a significant portion of the treasure for himself, believing this could secure his future and perhaps win him favor in return. However, he miscalculated the repercussions of attacking a ship of such significance, owned by the powerful Mughal Empire. The aftermath. Turning to piracy. The realization of danger. After the attack, Kidd understood that he had put himself at tremendous risk. News spread quickly, and he became a wanted man, pursued by both the British authorities, keen to avoid scandal, and the Mughal Empire, seeking revenge. Kidd made a desperate choice to bury a portion of the treasure he had obtained. The legend of the buried treasure. According to accounts, Kidd allegedly buried his loot in various locations, with the most frequently mentioned site being Gardiner's Island off the coast of Long Island, New York. This act of concealment has led to centuries of speculation and countless treasure hunts. Arrest and trial. Return to England. Despite the chaos surrounding him, Kidd returned to England in 1699, anticipating that his connections would protect him. He attempted to portray himself as a legitimate privateer who had acted in his government's interests. However, his reputation had already been damaged by his actions, and he was met with hostility. Arrest and charges. In November 1700, Kidd was arrested in London and charged with piracy and the murder of a crew member. His trial was a sensational event, drawing public attention and media coverage. Kidd maintained that he had acted on orders from the Crown and had aimed to capture pirates, yet the evidence against him was substantial. The verdict: despite his pleas and efforts to garner sympathy, Kidd was found guilty of piracy and murder and was sentenced to death. On May 23, 1701, he was hanged at Execution Dock, and his body was displayed in chains on a gibbet along the River Thames as a warning against piracy. His execution only added to the lore surrounding his name and the alleged treasure he left behind. The legend of the buried treasure, locations and speculations. Gardiner's Island, the most notable location. Initial speculations: Gardiner's Island, located near Long Island, gained the most attention as a possible burial site for Kidd's treasure. In the years following Kidd's execution, rumors circulated about him burying a significant portion of his loot on the island before returning to England. The island was relatively remote and contained numerous nooks and crannies where treasure could be hidden. Early searches. 18th-century treasure hunts. The legend of Kidd's buried treasure quickly attracted treasure hunters in the 1700s. Gardiner's Island became a focal point for many expeditions, but actual finds were few and far between. Most digs yielded nothing of substance, leading to frustration and skepticism regarding the validity of the rumors surrounding Kidd's treasure. Attempts by locals. Residents of Gardiner's Island even organized informal excavation attempts, but many discoveries turned out to be unrelated to Kidd. The island's historical significance as a colonial settlement drew additional interest, complicating searches as treasure hunters tried to distinguish between the numerous historical artifacts scattered throughout the island. The 19th century, renewed interest. Treasure fever. The 19th century saw a kind of treasure fever sweep through the United States, which intensified interest in all legends of buried treasure, including Kidd's. Reports of treasure seekers combing the island increased, with some claiming to have found evidence of Kidd's activities. Historical accounts. Local historians and amateur archaeologists documented purported findings, including old coins, weapons, and inscriptions. However, much of the claimed evidence remained unverified. The public fascination with the potential for hidden pirate treasure fueled these endeavors, and many sought to cash in on the allure of wealth. Notable expeditions of the 20th century. The 1930s excavation. Captain Otto Pritchard led an excavation on Gardiner's Island in 1930. He reported finding a series of old coins and artifacts, but no definitive links to Kidd were established. His efforts highlighted the continued interest in seeking out the treasure, despite the lack of substantial evidence. Artifacts and recoveries. Other treasure hunters in the 1950s and beyond unearthed various items, including weapons and suspected artifacts from the pirate era. Some analyzed their findings with enthusiasm, claiming connections to Kidd, but skepticism remained prevalent as tangible proof was often lacking. The 21st century, modern exploration. Media influence. Recent television shows, such as The Curse of Oak Island, have sustained and rekindled public interest in pirate lore and buried treasure. These programs often reference Captain Kidd, incorporating facets of his story into their narratives and drawing viewers to the romanticized exploration of pirates in popular culture. Technological advancements. Modern treasure seekers have employed advanced technologies, such as sonar equipment, metal detectors, and ground-penetrating radar, to search for Kidd's buried treasure. Such methods have allowed for more extensive explorations of both land and underwater sites that may hold remnants of Kidd's exploits. Ongoing digs and discoveries. Despite the significant financial and time investments in these modern searches, no major discoveries have comprehensively tied to Kidd's rumored treasure. Nonetheless, every dig brings forward the possibility of uncovering something valuable or historically significant. Theories and speculations about the treasure. Multiple locations. Scholars and treasure hunters debate whether Kidd may have hidden treasure in multiple locations. This theory gains traction due to the historical practices of pirates who often divided their prizes among different hiding places, making total recovery more complex. The Bahamas and Tortuga. Pirate folklore consistently links these places to treasure legends. The Bahamas were notorious for being a pirate haven, while Tortuga served as a malaria-afflicted outpost for many pirates. Speculation suggests that Kidd might have hidden his treasure in these regions, scattered among other pirates and seeking safety in obscurity. Local myths. Various locales across the Caribbean and along the eastern seaboard of the United States have become the subject of local legends associated with Kidd. These include numerous stretches of uninhabited land or secluded beaches and coves that fit the classic tropes of hidden pirate treasures in lore. Cursed treasure. Kidd's treasure is often linked to curses, fueling both fear and fascination. Narratives suggest that misfortune may befall those who attempt to search for Kidd's treasure, both as a warning against piracy and as a mystifying element in the pursuit of lost wealth. As a result, this narrative is frequently recited among treasure hunters, intensifying the myth around Kidd's ill-gotten gains. Cultural significance and the legend of Captain Kidd. Influence of literature and media. The story of Captain Kidd has permeated literature and popular culture since his lifetime. In the 18th and 19th centuries, accounts of his exploits were dramatized in novels and stories, evolving him from a once esteemed captain to a quintessential pirate figure in the public imagination. Romanticization of piracy. Kidd's tale encapsulates the complex dynamics of piracy during the golden age of piracy. The themes of betrayal, loss, and the pursuit of wealth resonate throughout his narrative, aligning with the broader romance of pirate lore, where figures operate both outside and against the constraints of society. Legacy and lessons. The narrative surrounding Kidd serves as a cautionary tale. It highlights how ambition and desperation can lead to one's downfall. His momentous quest for wealth ultimately resulted in infamy rather than honor, shaping the archetype of the pirate as a rogue figure often romanticized but cautionarily viewed within the annals of history. Conclusion. The intricate saga of Captain William Kidd represents the enduring allure of piracy and adventure. From his humble beginnings in Scotland to his lethal encounters at sea, Kidd's life is a tapestry woven from ambition, betrayal, and historical consequence. His legacy endures through tales of buried treasure that have inspired generations of explorers. While countless treasure hunters have sought to unearth Kidd's rumored riches over centuries, the quest remains unsolved and shrouded in mystery. Each search leads back to the core of human aspiration, the desire for wealth and the willingness to chase after legends, risking all in pursuit of an elusive prize. Kidd's story reminds us of the thin line between heroism and villainy, ambition and folly, as he embodies the duality of human nature within the tumult of the sea and the dreams that haunt those drawn to its unpredictable depths. Captain Kidd remains a figure of intrigue, a historical enigma, and a symbol of the timeless quest for treasure that transcends generations.